Is this going live yet? It says.
Yeah, I think so.
It says we're live. Okay, we're live on YouTube.
Hello.
I think we're live on, guys. Bear with us 1 second whilst we just post stuff. I'm just going to post it on my YouTube community tab. How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you, Louis?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I just had a long call with my grandparents who are in Bulgaria, and it was really good to just have a check-in with them.
Yeah,
How's
that's nice.
Bulgaria doing in this time?
Yeah, they're all right. I think they've only had 200 cases so far and like 3 deaths, so it's super early on, but there's a lot of older people there, so it's definitely like, but they're being super careful already. Apparently older people are only allowed out between 8:30 and 10:30 in the morning, and they're like locking down the city. So I think they seem to be like working really hard before it properly hits them to contain it, which is good.
Are your grandparents okay so far?
Sorry?
I said, are your grandparents okay so far?
Yeah, my grandma apparently was sick, but it wasn't corona, and she's feeling better now, which is good. So
That's good.
but yeah.
Are they panicking at all? Or are they pretty chill about it?
I mean, they seem relatively chill. They're basically just staying indoors, and she's like sewing masks for them and stuff. And yeah, they seem to be all right. My family doesn't show each other when they're stressing out that much anyway, so I feel like they would have put on a brave face for me, even if they were stressing out.
I'm just going to turn my lights on 1 second. Hey Google, make office warm white. Yeah, I think it's crazy to think like we've got people all around the world kind of having a similar experience where we, you know, I can't remember another time in history where we've all been in the same boat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Should we start?
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe we could, I think we'll have people join throughout the, can you hear me? Raya, can you mute yours a sec? I think I can hear my voice in the other room. Sorry.
You're coming through my headphones.
Oh, maybe it's someone else. Maybe let's just figure out if we can mute people. Mute. Okay, cool. No, I'm still echoing somewhere. Has everyone got headphones on? No. Unmute. Mute. Hello. Hello. That's better. Okay. Oh, it's not. What the heck? Hello. Okay, there you go. I think it's because you're literally in the other room, Raya. That's why it was echoing. So maybe we could just go around and share where we're calling from and just a little check-in. And then we could just, yeah, I'd love just to hear from people just quickly, and then we can just jump into like the topic of this talk is what does it mean to actually be a global community? And I thought that'd be a really cool conversation, as right now, like I said, like this is the time that it feels to me like we're most connected as a community that's going through the same kind of global problem together that we're trying to figure out and solve, and every action that we do impacts somebody else. Everything that we're choosing to do or not to do is affecting everyone around us, so it feels like this super connected time. Should we go around and just share our names and where we're calling from? Can people unmute themselves? Sorry, I'm still figuring this out.
Yeah, everyone should be able to unmute themselves.
Okay, perfect.
Chat.
Do you want to start, Jamie?
Yeah, I'll start. Hi guys, I'm Jamie. Calling in from East Los Angeles. And I'm feeling really grateful to be able to connect with you guys and just for the fact that we're able to connect virtually in this time and still have community. And I'm excited to talk about what that means today.
Awesome.
Louis, might be best if you like call on people because no one knows what the order is.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're all in different order on the screen. Yeah, let's just go around. Brianna, do you want to share?
Yeah, hi. So my name is Brianna Hindle, and I am calling from St. Louis, Missouri right now. And I just can't believe I'm talking even to both Raya and Louis because you guys have been such inspirations in my life and actually inspired me to teach English in Taiwan. And I love that we're able to be a part of this community and excited to learn how to get involved more.
Awesome. Raya?
I'm Raya. Thank you, Brianna. That's so sweet. I'm Raya.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Calling in from Venice, actually just down the hall from Louis from Los Angeles. And yeah, I'm really excited. We did this like an impromptu one of these a couple nights ago when we were having dinner, and it was so fun to connect with people. And it was really cool. We had people from like India, Australia, all over the US, Canada, like so many different places. And a few people were even like eating at the same time. Yeah, it definitely feels like we're all in this together.
Yeah, cool. Leticia? Oh, unmute.
So my name is Leticia, but my friends call me Letty, so feel free to just call me Letty. I'm calling in from Long Beach, California. And yeah, I guess I'm just excited to, talk and have some kind of social interaction with people because I've been kind of just holed in at home. I have been going on like morning runs because I feel like I need to just, for my own mental sanity, kind of like step away from my couch or my dining room table. So, but yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you can join us. Thanks for joining us. Phoebe?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm joining you from Norway.
Wow.
Originally from New Zealand, but I live in Norway at the moment. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's kind of cool to be able to connect with people from all around the world. I think a lot of positives can potentially come from this whole thing. I know it's a pretty stressful time for a lot of people, but I think that we can kind of make it a way that we can maybe connect with more people, share some ideas, and find some positives in this whole thing.
Yeah, so agree. Connor?
Hello all, my name's Connor. I'm calling from the southeast of Ireland.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been watching you for quite a while, Louis. I've watched you since 2013 or so, so it's mad to be able to come on here and speak.
Yeah, thanks for joining, man. It's cool to have someone get some perspective from different places. So I'm super interested to hear how everything's been going on in Ireland.
Yeah, it's quite scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's finish just hearing from everyone, and then Katie, do you want to share where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, I just thought it'd be good to join this conversation because it's quite focused on my area of study and my degree that I just got. So I just wanted to join in and see what it's about. Is it really?
Cool. Charlie, are you there? Are you just watching? I can see I can see some picture frames. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, so I think what I'd love to do, I mean, should we do the paper and pen thing? Before we carry on, this might be a really complicated task, but if there's a bit of paper and a pen you have nearby you, maybe you could grab. And to be fair, I'm not even prepared. Don't worry if it's like impossible, but I don't even have one. Okay, wait, I've got it. I'll give you a couple of seconds to run and get one if you can. I just thought it'd be cool to do some interactive ways of kind of explaining how we're feeling, and I'll give you one more second. Thanks to everyone tuning in, watching on the live stream as well. What we'll try and do is, as we're chatting and interacting, we'll throw out some questions that you guys could also, we'd love to hear from you, and you can share in the comments, and we can hopefully at the end just like loop in people that are watching from around the world and just hear from other people. Because I think that for me, we've done a few of these live conversations with a few kind of creative friends of mine, and we've talked about different topics, but I think the thing I'm really excited to do is just to hear from people around the world, like on the ground, how you're coping, what's going on, and also how we can bind together more as a global community during this time. Hey, Michael, where are you calling from?
I am calling from Gainesville, Florida.
Nice. Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being a part
Thanks
of
for
this.
hosting. Thanks for hosting.
Of course. Yeah, I think this is a great time to do this and to have an opportunity to check in like this.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. Like, I'm personally one of those people, like, I love helping people, but I like getting face to face, because like you can brush off whatever topic over the phone, but you can't do that in person. But yeah, like situations like this, we get to practice the skills that we normally wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really good. I think although there's a lot of terrible things happening right now, I think there's a silver lining to kind of how we can behave right now, and how it can draw the good things out of us as humanity. And I think this is one of them, is like this desire to connect a lot more. So the first question I'm going to throw out there is like, how can we really support each other? And I thought maybe the first way that we could talk about that is just checking in by how we're all feeling right now. And you can either just say it, or if you feel more comfortable, we could write, I was thinking like 3 words that summarizes kind of how we're feeling, and then we could just like hold them up. Or you could just say it if you don't have paper, but I'd love just to check in and see how people are feeling. And it could be a mix of emotions as well. As I'm writing mine, I'm realizing it's a bit of a mixture. Cool. Stressed and inspired from Leticia. Grateful, overwhelmed and concerned by Phoebe. Hopeful, confused and inspired by Jamie. Hopeful, confused and thankful, Brianna.
Oh my God.
Worried but hopeful. These are mine. Confused, hopeful and uncertain. It's all similar. It's all very similar, isn't it? We're all feeling the same vibes. Raya, do you want to share, even if you haven't got paper?
Yeah, I've only got 2. I'm trying to think, but I've got relaxed.
Oh, one sec.
Yeah, I've only got 2 that I can think of, but relaxed and pensive is where I'm at.
Yeah, that's so true. Does anyone want to expand on how they're feeling? You don't have to, but does anyone want to share a bit more, dive a bit deeper into what those words mean for you? Yeah, Leticia?
Okay, so I'm feeling stressed because, well, for those of you that don't know, I'm a teacher. I teach kindergartners. So all of my teaching experience has been in the classroom, you know, and I'm feeling stressed in a way that I don't know how to fully reach all of my students in this format, you know. There's only some students that do have access to internet, and how do I reach them? It's what's stressing me out. And then I'm feeling inspired in the sense that now I'm kind of like delving more into what is this teaching from a distance, you know, trying to find different ways that I can make it interactive and kind of fun for 5 and 6 year olds. So that's kind of like an explanation of my emotions right now.
And how's it been so far? Like, what are the good times and the bad times? Like, how's it been going?
So I've been doing a couple of Zoom meetings with my class, and I've had a good turnout for the most part. I still haven't been able to reach about 5 students, so that's always worrisome, where I try to contact parents and I still don't get an answer back. So I don't really know what they're doing, how they're doing, and that's kind of like the negative aspect of it. The positive aspect is that, you know, when we do kind of see each other on our Zoom meetings, it's just like a lot of fun. You know, they love seeing each other. I've even had some parents, some parents are creating their own Zoom accounts because they want their kids to have like virtual play dates with each other. So that's awesome because it's something that wouldn't have happened if, you know, it hadn't been for all of this. And then, like I said, the first 2 weeks, because our schools have been closed since Friday the 13th was our last day in school with the kids. So we've been kind of learning at a distance for about a week and a half now. And these are kind of been like kind of trial and errors just to see what we can do. And then once we get into weeks 3 and 4, it's going to be a lot more of what can I teach? What can I provide to them from a distance? So that's kind of what it's been like.
Wow, thanks for sharing. Does anyone else want to expand a little bit about how they've been feeling? How are you feeling, Michael?
So I went on a mission trip the end of February. I got back March 6th. And that was amazing. It was very unexpected. It was very fruitful. It was very filling. And like after coming back from that, like I was on a mountaintop and like coming back to the regular life and then all of this extra stuff being thrown on top. It was very draining. But yeah, I mean, I'm motivated. I'm hungry. And I mean, the certain community aspects right now and how restricted everybody is, it's hard to really fulfill that, but that's where the creativity comes into play.
Brando was like, hurry up and come to the beach and you can hop on. And so
That's cool to hear, man. So are you feeling hopeful right now, or are you?
I try to remain hopeful, you know, regardless of the bad situation. Regardless of the situation, it's either going to be a win or it's going to lead me to a win in the future. So there's a positive to every negative. And like I said earlier, like this whole thing and the reaction that people are having isn't really desirable, but it gives me an opportunity to grow on other things. So there's a benefit to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good to hear that you're feeling good. It looks nice where you are as well, enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah. Florida's staying beautiful, and the less people that are out here, it maintains that a little bit more. So
yeah, I've really noticed the air quality in LA feels a lot better because there's just less cars on the road. There's less people out and about. So like it feels like maybe another silver lining is there's less pollution right now because of transportation.
Yeah, that's one thing I saw about what was it, France or Italy? The I don't know if it's canals or rivers or whatever you want to call it, but the areas where people normally travel by boat are like clear water because nobody's been there in however long.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how China's reacting because their pollution is by far one of the worst. So with them being off the grid, I'm sure it's clearing up.
Yeah. Looks like we've got a new someone new on the call. Rimalik? Is that how you say your name?
Sorry, my name is Rimsha. I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
We were just asking people to summarize in 3 words how they're feeling right now. I said I was feeling confused, hopeful, and uncertain.
Okay. So I'm probably gonna jump off of that. I'm also feeling a little bit uncertain. It is I am a student. It is my last year in college. So that's been a little bit tough, trying to navigate online classes and changes in schedule. So there is a lot of uncertainty there. I am hopeful, although of course being right next to New York, we do have the most cases in the United States right now, but I do feel like it might die down with these lockdowns. So I think that we'll be okay. I don't think that it should last very long. So hopeful, uncertain, and I feel careful in a good way. Like I feel like I've had more time to take care of myself. Um, physically, mentally, I've had some time to reflect. I know a lot of people are saying that it's a little bit cliche, but yeah, it is true. I have had a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to catch up on work. I remember discussing with somebody in the group chat that I've had more time to catch up on painting, which is a hobby of mine. I haven't really been touching on that, but that's also been something that's been very helpful for my mental health, to be able to, paint, get away for a little while. So yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thanks for sharing. That's really encouraging me, because I feel like I, in a similar way, have been wanting to do more, push into the hobbies that just help me feel creative and feel like I can not get stuck in my head too much, because I think we can really spiral, and especially if we're just constantly looking at the news coming in and trying to figure stuff out and worried about our family and stuff like that. So I think having a creative outlet's really healthy. How are other people feeling? Anyone else want to share? How are you
I just
feeling?
wanted to reflect. I just
Yeah.
wanted to say I love your use of the word careful. And it just made me think about the word and like being full of care, and really taking life a little slower and being able to feel and think through things more. I definitely feel that. So thank you.
How are you feeling, Katie?
I'm feeling quite worried in one way, because I have mild symptoms and I have gone to doctors, but they're not testing, in Ireland anyway, they're not testing anyone unless you have an underlying health condition, because there's just too many people looking to be tested, which I understand. But we are meant to be doing better than the US and the UK, I know anyway, for testing, but it's just become so many people looking for it now. So that's a worry, but I am hopeful, because I think all of this might make people appreciate things we take for granted more. So I think, meeting up with friends or just going out, socializing, I think it's such a big part of our lives, a lot of our lives, and I think that it will make people appreciate that more. Like the fact that you can't just like text a friend and say, will we meet up for a coffee, like that, you can't do that. I hope it'll make people appreciate things like that more, and I hope people don't just kind of forget about that too quickly and forget about the value of interaction in person with people, especially when, even though technology is really helping us at the minute, people have become quite reliant on it, and they might not value conversations in person as much. So I'd hope that would continue. But yeah, I'm a student as well, and I actually had my first online lecture on Zoom yesterday, and it actually went so much better than we expected. I had to do a presentation on Zoom, which I was so worried about it, but it actually went really well. So that aspect of it I'm quite hopeful about as well, because we felt so unsure about how it would all go, and a lot of people in my course as well are nurses and work on the front line. So it's trying to kind of adapt it all. A lot of the lecturers have like recorded stuff instead now, instead of us having to show up, that they can work around people that work on the front line. So that's really positive, just seeing how people can come together, and they're not as strict about our deadlines for our assignments or anything. So like that's really positive, that there's that sense of unity and understanding as well. But yeah, that's my main thoughts on it. Minute.
Thanks for sharing. Julia, hello. How are you? Where are you calling from?
I live in Michigan. Sorry, this is so cool. I've like watched your videos and like Raya's videos, and just speaking with like a bunch of strangers. I just think I'm just like starstruck right now. It's like wow. But I'm from the United States. I'm currently living in the dorms at Michigan State, and I feel like I'm still like processing everything because like our universities like letting like students stay, but they're also like closing everything down. And then also like I'm like conflicted because I'm planning to stay here over the summer, but like I have to like find a job. I have to like confirm like housing for the summer. So like that's like stressing me out because I'm like trying to like confirm everything and stuff like that. And then we're also in the process of like having our classes like a pass or fail. So like I don't know. I'm just like I don't know what the word is, but it's like I'm waiting. I'm just very anxious and just like waiting for uncertainty. It's like, and I'm also impatient. So it's like, I need to get these things done so I can like do all these things, you know?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And who else have we got new? Darsh? Is that how you pronounce your name? Oh, sorry. Are you there?
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce my name, Darsh.
Darsh,
Yeah.
good to meet you. Where are you calling from?
I'm from India.
Wow, whereabouts?
I'm in Delhi.
Nice.
Yeah,
before you came on, we were just sharing maybe 3 words that summarize how we're feeling right now. So I'd love to hear how you're doing.
I shared like...
Thanks, Fish.
I shared stressed, confused, and hopeful.
Stressed, confused, and hopeful.
Hopeful, yeah.
What's bringing you hope right now?
The fact that all the countries are taking so much action and they realize the extent to which this problem can like hinder life. So like just like different measures countries are taking. Like in India right now, the whole country is on a 21-day lockdown, so that you can't even go outside your house. There's like police patrolling every single day, and it's kind of annoying because you can't even enjoy the fresh air. But this is for the safety of everyone.
How do you get food? Are you allowed to go to stores for food?
For food, you can either deliver, like there's delivery still happening, like food delivery, or you can go to your local convenience store, like in a near proximity area. You can't like go. You can't use your car and go somewhere else. If you want to use your car, you need a pass, and the pass is only limited to like media, medical staff, and important businesses.
It's so amazing to see how we're all like pretty much every country is having the same lockdown right now.
I was actually in Canada before. Like I'm a university student, and I was studying in Toronto, and they shut down the whole university, and we had to move out from our residence within 3 days. So like packing everything up, taking a flight back, and then it was all stressful. And taking the flight itself is the most dangerous thing right now. So there's a whole invention that too.
And when was that?
That was like last week. So like within days. And on top of that, I'm an engineering student. So they are not stopping any assignments for us because it's a professional degree. So day by day, they're just increasing assignments. So I was literally just doing my report on the plane and submitted like the moment I landed and I got access to the internet and started working on another report. So like, it's a tricky time, but like, yeah, we have to go through it.
And are you on your own or are you staying with family?
I'm staying with family.
Okay. Is anyone in the call staying by themselves right now? Yeah. That must be tough, I guess. Yeah, luckily I'm with me and Raya and like 6 other friends are staying in the house. As you saw, our friend Fish just brought me some lunch, which was really nice of him. But yeah, I don't know how. I think I'd be in a completely different mindset if I was completely isolated because I'm an extrovert as well. I really find energy from being around people. I think though, even introverts right now, people that are I mean, it is a spectrum, but I just wonder, even people that are used to not being around people are still feeling a need right now with these emotions and stuff to at least be connected. I'd love to hear, like, on that note, like what do people feel like their needs are right now? Like what are the gaps that they're feeling are in their life that from this situation? And yeah, like what are the more urgent things people are feeling they really need, whether it's physical or emotional support or financial or whatever it is? I'd love to hear how people are coping. Do you want to share? Leticia, do you want to share?
Sure. Okay. Well, for the most part, like I live by myself. So, you know, my parents are away. I do have siblings that live close, you know, relatively close by. But, you know, again, we're trying to kind of self quarantine here. So even though like the communication is there through phone calls, through FaceTime, it's still kind of, you know, lonely to be in a house on your own, you know, especially.
Yeah.
And I would usually consider myself kind of an introvert, but even then, you know, I still had the option of, you know, going out to get coffee with friends, or, you know, I'm an avid like gym rat. So I would go to the gym and just meet up with my gym friends. And that's something that I don't have right now. So hence why every morning I've kind of trying to get an early morning run and just kind of be out there. And, you know, even if I'm, you know, 6 feet away from people, I'm still, you know, around people or just around an open space. So yeah, I guess my need would be kind of like family closeness. You know, when my parents do come to visit, you know, it's nice to have them here. And right now that's really not an option. So I guess the freedom of choice of being able to just you know, like live your normal routine, your normal daily routine. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Anyone else want to talk about the gaps they're feeling right now?
Yeah, I feel the same as that whole freedom of choice. Like I'm a natural introvert. Like when it comes to regular socializing, I'm not with it. Like I'm not with the superficial conversations and talking about the weather and all that other BS. But I'm a working man. Like I love helping people. I serve with my church 3 days a week. I'm a very active individual. And like I was supposed to be starting a new job last Friday, but that got pushed forward because of the whole COVID thing. And the church is shut down. So like I'm not able to help my people at work. I'm not able to help my people at church. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I got a lot of pent up love and nowhere to really redirect it to. But yeah, I think it's just the lack of schedule. Like I've never been stagnant for this long before without a choice of moving. So that's my struggle. I just need to get to work.
Yeah, I think finding ways to keep ourselves occupied and active is so important, whether that's just physically active or just mentally being able to be creative or figure out challenges. But there's definitely this, I don't know whether it's boredom or just more just trying to adjust to this suddenly being these restrictions, like you were saying, Michael, just like lack of, you know, and Leticia, like these lack of restrictions could, you know, it's definitely throwing us into new challenges as individuals.
I want to say it's like the happy medium. Like as a culture, I can't really speak on other countries, but America is not very hungry for mental health. Like we don't take care of ourselves a lot. And right now that's about the only option we have. Like, and because we don't have those skills beforehand, we're all just lost. Like we go to the regular things that would take up like the free time, like Netflix and YouTube or games or going for walks. But like you can only dedicate a few hours to that every day. You still have to fill those other 13, 14, 15 hours. And I think that's where we're all kind of lost. Like we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't know how to do anything for ourselves for the most part. So we're just kind of beating our head against the wall because we're so confused.
I've got a question to everyone else following on from that. Like, do you think that's something we can support each other in, or do you think it's more of an internal journey, like working on our mental health?
I think a bit of both for sure. I personally, like, while I have deep conversations and I speak things, that's how I kind of process things. It's harder for me to like process a lot on my own. So I love, you know, I love asking deep conversations and like getting into really deep conversations and kind of going down paths that maybe I wouldn't normally go down by myself, and hearing other people's perspectives and hearing their questions can help me like realize something that I never realized about myself. So I think it's really important that we do that. And I've personally found that with this time, I've been able to have like 2-hour-long FaceTime calls with friends when I normally would just kind of have a quick check-in. So, and because everyone is feeling a bit extra stressed right now, I think instead of just the normal like, hey, what's up? People are actually like, how are you? Like people are really trying to ask people how they're actually feeling for the first time, when we don't usually take the time to really check in with everyone. So I think that's a really good thing coming out of this. Yeah,
that's so true. And I think like, even just before this all kicked off, just being around people living in like in intentional community where we're literally living with a lot of our friends. Like I've even found myself, like my own journey's been supported. I feel like I've been transformed more as a person, and my character's built a lot more than other times in my life where I've been more isolated. So I think like the more that we pull in together as a community of friends and as a global community, hopefully we'll all be able to support each other in our own paths and journeys. Bimal, I'd love to hear where you're calling from.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, hi, I'm Bimal. Right now I'm from Pittsburgh, USA. It's still slow down, but right now I'm working in an IT profession, so I can work from like remotely. And so, yeah, entire team is working remotely right now. And my family is from Nepal. So it's still like a fuse family and the friends in India as well. So constantly monitoring the activities. And the worried part is it is going to be a scale up, especially in India and large population. And one of the lucky thing is like, beside this one, I'm also working in a project, my virtual learning, like a school group. And this is the opportunity for my team. And so what we started doing, like deploying the virtual courses for students around the world and the teachers who do not have a platform. And recently, a lot of like universities and academic institutions reach out to us, and every team is virtually. Like we have members from 19 countries.
Oh, you cut off.
So sometimes I'm like working in my project, and sometimes helping the community virtually as well. So right now we are helping more than 5,000 students who are like living in a home and like doing a home study.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That's so good to see you working on some of the solutions we need right now. Like, I think,
Sorry to cut you.
No, you carry on.
Yeah, especially like developing countries where they do not have a solution at all. And like Nepal or India or Bangladesh, they are still trying to catch up in the like online learning. And right now, government has to shut down everything. There is no way to communicate. And even the internet is not there yet. The infrastructure is not built up. Like, but this is the kind of a thing like you know where the future is going. You do not have alternative. But at the same time, it's a kind of like an opportunity to see which already have the infrastructure or internet and helping the teacher. So what the beautiful things we are able to do is, if there is a curriculum like a teacher in Japan and want to teach in other countries student, they can use our platform, the courses, and they can communicate worldwide. So we are making like a social educational network for teachers, curriculum designer, or in, like a student itself. Yeah, so glad to be able to help them.
That's so good, man. That's so good to hear what you're up to. How could you be supported more? We're just talking right now about like how maybe things that we're missing right now that we need support in. And I'd love to hear from everyone else as well, just like even with each other, like how we can be more supportive, whether that's like jumping on more calls like this, whether they're live streaming or just, you know, without even live streaming them, just like, I'd love to hear.
Yes, personally, I feel like everyone has a certain unique like a talent, especially like you, Luis, like the thing you are doing in a great, and the way we can use our social media platform, even the virtuals to like the communication, like right now we are doing our scaling out in a different countries. And right now, like we are not adapted or used to as a human psychology of a social like a distancing. And now we need to coordinate with the virtual socialization. So even we don't know each other, like this is the first time I'm connecting with you or someone else as well. But we need to scale up and support those who are going to be like, I can work right now, but most of the people we can, so we can engage in ourselves. But a lot of people can't have to do. So this kind of a social communication definitely going to help them, and the expertise from this team and other as well, like sharing their ideas and all this stuff.
Is anyone in the group worried about employment and losing job opportunities or the future of work and stuff?
Yeah, sure. We work in, I work in skydiving in Norway, and our summer season is about to start, which is kind of primarily where everybody in my industry makes money, and we only make money if people skydive. So if the border restrictions maintain, most of our staff can't get here, including our aircraft. And I guess if people also don't have the money to spend on things like skydiving because they're not important at all, really, in the scheme of things, it does mean that none of us can work anymore. So most of my friends are all entirely income based on jumping, and if we don't jump, we don't have incomes, and we also don't really have the same stability that jobs have, that maybe have sick leave or government help, because it's a very transient kind of job, I guess.
So do you jump tandem and like people jump with you kind of thing?
I film primarily and instruct, so teach them people to skydive and film the people jumping out, as well as coordinate on the ground everybody getting on what plane. But none of that happens unless people want to do it, which just means that there's a considerable amount of people that are employed around the world actually doing this. So now for a lot of people, it's kind of a lot of all my friends really, it's all a big struggle because we don't get paid if we don't work. So it's all piece rate. So yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, we can't really do anything about it other than just wait our time and see what happens, and kind of try and band together. And we have our own little community groups within our industry, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I think from what I see, millions of people are in your position where there's job uncertainty, and you know, I feel incredibly privileged that I can work from home and I can work online, but there's a lot of sectors in the of jobs that are just you can't physically do from home. So it's just really interesting to see how this pans out and how people cope really. How are you, Phoebe, how do you think you could be supported more by a community? Like, is there anything that you're feeling you really need right now?
I mean, it's pretty difficult. Like, we as our own skydiving and self community is quite good. People have banded together. We've got different community groups now. So there's not so much that we can do other than keep talking to each other and talking to wider communities as well. I'm lucky that I'm in Norway and it's relatively well off, but there's a lot of my friends that are, for example, stuck in America, which is more of a kind of cash-based system in terms of skydiving at least, who will really be struggling to afford rent and do those sort of things. So I don't know, it's difficult to say how to help them because their needs are very much just financial. How do they get through, paycheck to paycheck, which in Norway we don't have such a problem with. I definitely have a lot of concerns for some of my friends that are in other places, but I guess that's in every industry as well, so it's hard to really say, in all honesty.
Well, thanks for sharing. I want to say hi to Dave. Yes, Dave. How you doing, bro? Wait, let me unmute you. Oh, there you go.
I'm well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got godlike powers to unmute people. Amazing.
Dave, we were just asking 3 words that sum up how we're feeling right now, and then maybe what you need, and maybe just how. I mean, the bigger, broader conversation is like what does real global community look like right now? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Can I do the 3 words at the end?
Yeah, sure.
Well, firstly, this is cool, by the way. Really cool.
Cool.
Nice to see so many different voices and stories, and yeah, just it is a good act of just being together, just doing the call. So I'm pleased to be able to just jump in. But I spoke to a guy called Adam who we met in Ethiopia, Louis. And he unfortunately lost his amazing leader, Caleb Meekins, sadly a few weeks ago in a car crash. And it was interesting talking with Adam, just trying to encourage him really, but realizing how lucky we are in the UK to have these kinds of financial measures coming in to try to support and take the pressure off, like you were mentioning. You know, some people really can't work in these times. So I just really was just like realizing, wow, man, there's going to be no support in Ethiopia for people out there. I mean, very little economic support. And so you just realize that people in countries where there's less in the bank or less ability to generate economic instruments are just really going to get hit hard. So I really felt for him and his community. 3 words I'm feeling right now. Interested, like there is a sense of interest of like what on earth is going on, and it is interesting. I can feel that sadness is on its way, if you will. Like I haven't experienced yet, but I can feel that cloud of sadness is coming with things that are almost inevitable to experience. And there is a bit of excitement, strangely, in amongst all of that, for the hole that it might create in society, the sort of space for imagination and all these things we're beginning to see around the environment getting a breather, and people recognizing that maybe, you know, we can make rapid change. I mean, this is forced on us, but we can change how things operate in society in a, like, on a turn on a penny if we have the motivation to do so. So sadness, interest, and a bit of excitement, I guess.
That's cool, bro.
I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Jody, where are you calling from? Oh.
Hey, you guys, I was there with the dinner one, and you guys, I saw this pop up on Twitter, right?
I think you're really quiet. Is anyone else hearing?
Can you hear me better?
No, maybe on the little microphone thing, maybe change your mic to your computer audio. I don't know. We had this problem earlier as well.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, way better.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was on the dinner call the other night, and it was so funny on my coffee break and saw it pop up on Twitter again. So hi.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I'm calling from Seattle. I just was so interested in what was going on and what everybody is thinking, because I'm in kind of a bubble of healthcare workers, which is a lot of interesting conversations. And I was just fascinated on how it was affecting people all across the country. And yeah, and David, it's so interesting what you were saying about your friend. So I run a nonprofit in Haiti, and there were 6 confirmed cases there. And so we've been scrambling to try to set up hand washing stations with buckets, but how do you do social distancing if you live with 10 people in a really small space? How do you, keep people safe when you already don't have adequate sanitation and things like this? So yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive, an interesting time to have these tools like this one. It's amazing to see what people are doing. And I wanted to say hi because it's just a nice little breather of positivity and creativity that I think I really need. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice to hear. Thanks for popping in and just sharing. What is your community that you're a part of? Are you very much focused on just the physical health side to it all, or have you talked much about kind of how people are coping right now with emotionally and stuff like that?
So it's been really interesting. So personally, I work, the nonprofit I founded with my friend Samuel, we work in Cité Soleil in Haiti. It's a really poor area. And I was a disaster response worker right after the earthquake. So I've been working in Haiti with him for 10 years, and he wanted to start a mobile clinic, and we believe in building capacity. So we train healthcare workers instead of sending people from the US to do medical missions. So with that kind of like background, when this hit, we have all of these nurse graduates and community health workers. So we're trying to mobilize them in a safe way to still be able to deliver care to their communities. But we don't have masks or gowns or things to keep them safe. And so kind of a lot of the global health community is ramping up in terms of setting up mobile hospitals and all these things. And we're really in the prevention mindset of setting up like buckets to wash hands and with colleagues in Uganda. So anyway, that's what's happening on the health side that I'm really focused on. And then my hospital system has been providing counselors for healthcare workers, because mental health is so important during this time for everyone, not just healthcare workers who are dealing with really difficult decisions. And how do we get kind of tele-psych consults, like if for people to talk to, or things like this where you can talk to people going through similar experiences, is so important. So it's definitely happening hospital-wide, and I just hope that we can find a way to deliver those same sort of counseling services and community services virtually for everybody. It's a hard thing to do, but it's so important to take care of mental health, especially as people are isolated.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing, Jody.
Real quick, bouncing off of the last two people that spoke. I just got back from a mission trip in Haiti. I was with P4H Global, and it was founded by a woman that went to UF, got her doctorate, and she's a Haitian American. So she went home and she wanted to help her people with sustainable development. And like right now, I think it's a critical time, because like we can all speculate on what community needs what, we can all look from the outside and all of that, but like right now is where the pressure is really applied. Like now we really get to see what voids need to be filled. And in that same essence of like planting seeds as opposed to just bringing fruit, to be able to have healthcare professionals in the environment that can just hit the ground running, as opposed to sending people for a short time and then going back home. We had spoken to some of the individuals in Haiti. We were in Cap Haitian, and the organization has a base there where they train teachers on how to better operate in the classroom and things like that. And we had one of the little break-off sessions that we had was in health. And like mental health here in America, like we discuss it and we don't act on it. Like we know that therapy is an option, we just avoid it. There, they don't even know. Like the gentleman there didn't know that depression was a thing. They didn't know that PTSD was an effect of living through certain experiences. Like, so right now, I think is a huge part of us seeing the voids that need to be filled and following through on that as soon as this calms down, or even if it's possible to get things running now. It's a beautifully tragic time. It's a beautifully tragic time.
For those two, you two that just shared about how you've done a lot of volunteer work and working with NGOs and in developing countries like Haiti, where there's, people are living in completely different environments to most of us. How do you think in this time where we can't physically go and volunteer easily, how we can be a more support, like people watching from home, people watching the live stream, even amongst us, how do you think we can help people that are kind of really suffering the most in amongst all of this mayhem?
Okay, so I have a couple things. So I'm very much of the mind that communities know what they need, and that as an outsider, it's not our job to say, hey, how about this or how about that?
Yeah, that's
so I think that during this time, it's really all about listening to people who are living in situations and this is going on all over the world. It's not just Haiti. There's people down the street from me in Seattle who have lost their jobs, who have home insecurity, who can't get access to food. So there's such a huge opportunity for everyone to hop in and be a global citizen, like what this whole chat was about, is that we are all connected and we're only as safe and healthy as our least, our most vulnerable neighbors, right? So I think that there's so many incredible organizations without hopping on a plane, without having to go somewhere, just from the comfort of your home, whether it's about talking about the importance of something, whether if you have extra funds, whether you can connect people who have certain ideas or resources together. I used to work for an amazing man who called it an impresario, and it's like an old person who used to fill theaters and coordinate things, and we can all be impresarios, right? We can all connect people with ideas and resources and connect people together, even from our living room couch. And I think that that's okay, so that's one line of thinking. And my other line of thinking is on a very person-to-person level, mentally, is just to call friends, to call your neighbor, to leave a note for somebody who might not be able to get groceries, who maybe you are able to do that. There's an amazing Instagram called Black Fairy Godmother, and she's like a beautiful example of this, where she basically posts what people need, and you can get on Amazon and buy things off of some people's Amazon wish lists, for example. So there's just an opportunity to be creative and generous. And I'll stop talking because I'm rambling now.
No, that's really amazing. We were actually talking about, like, does anyone know any online, almost like what do you call them, like an online, not really a forum, but like where people can post needs and what they can give people, like a bulletin board or something? Do you know any good websites where it's easy to do that, like almost like a Facebook marketplace where people could say, hey, I really need some food right now, some supplies for this, and and then people could easily go there and match? I'm trying to think if there's any specific websites set up like that right now. Do you know of any?
I just know of her account, and it's like a micro level, but that would be a fabulous idea if people are sitting and looking for a project to do. How really would that be amazing? And the other thing, for healthcare workers, there is something like that. If you log on to, oh gosh, I'll have to find the website, but there's a huge personal protective equipment shortage of masks and gowns and all these things. So healthcare workers in hospitals have set up exactly what you're saying for people who have masks and extra supplies to be able to log on and see which hospitals in the area need them. Let me try to.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm really excited to see, in the same way that technology is allowing this call to happen for us to stream it around the world and chat real time, I'm really interested to see how technology can support some of the solutions as well, whether it's like helping connect people with their needs, and like you said, like really hearing what people need rather than just assuming is so important. So yeah, and I know there's a lot of people out there that want to do more to help and just don't know how right now, other than maybe donating to some of the big organizations.
I know that I've seen something on Instagram, and I'm trying to kind of look back and see if I could come across of it again. But there was a profile that I saw on Instagram where it was kind of like, what services can you offer? And then your area where you can offer the service from. So for example, if you are able to leave your house and go grocery shop for someone who is unable to, you can post your profile on there, and then they will contact you. So, I mean, I know that I've found something like that, and now I can't even find it, but so I know that there's profiles like that that are kind of helping in that sense. So.
Cool.
And I think on like a larger scale, there is like Craigslist and things like that. But I can't think of anything that's specifically for need solution. Like there are options that cover like the whole span of everything, but I can't think of focal points for that transaction.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit. Cool. Well, I was thinking like we're nearing an hour on our live stream right now. Oh, it's all gone a bit crazy. We're nearing an hour on the live stream right now. I thought maybe we could kind of start winding down by going around and just sharing maybe something that we're hopeful for and something that we're thankful for right now. And you could either like write it down if you have your paper or just say it. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, I was actually, while you guys were talking about some of the like health issues, it made me think about, Louis and I went to Sierra Leone a couple of years ago, right at the end of the Ebola outbreak. Like, I think like the day that they announced that they were Ebola free was like our first day there or something. It was right at the end of it. And right now, when we're in the eye of the storm, I think it can seem just really scary and uncertain, and it is all those things. But being somewhere that was hit so hard with a disease, to see people coming out on the other side, and their country was shut down for a year. All schools shut down, no one went to work, like nothing. And we were in a village that was having their first gathering in a year, and we were there to see everyone like coming out and dancing and sharing a meal together. And I think that like remembering that energy is giving me hope, because we are gonna come out on the other side and we're gonna have that. And I can't wait to go hug all my friends, and like just to think that that is coming. And right now we're in the eye of the storm and it's scary and it might get worse before it gets better. But yeah, just like remembering that and thinking about that is getting me excited. And for some people, like maybe take this time to plan a trip that you're really excited about, like thinking about that time and like planning vacations. Like obviously I wouldn't book anything because who knows when we can travel again, but you know, just like dreaming about that time and planning trips or weekends away or like gathering with friends or visiting people, whatever. I think that can help kind of give us that hope that there is going to be like another side to all of this. Yeah.
What about you, Jamie? Hopeful and thankful.
I wrote mine down, so I'll just hold it up.
Ah.
I think it's beautiful what you've created here, and how everyone can come together from such different ends of the world, and how we're seeing that front and center right now. It's giving me a lot of hope.
Yes, Louis. If I have to pick like a one word overall, I will say the hope. The thing is, like, who knows, like a few months back, like the entire world is going to be shut down or closed, and here it is happening, and still we are positive. Issue will be always there, new kind of issue, but the way entire society or civilization is working together, it is not like a movie, like where everyone like running or breaking things stuff. Nothing is happening like that way. We are more close together. So that's the power of like the human civilization itself. There will be a future in issue as well. And we see a lot of like a positive changes happening as well. A lot of people is connecting now. We are thinking in a more virtual social way. And that's where the future is heading. And giving back to the society, we have a power of the technology and we have the power of our skills. Everyone has a certain unique thing. Like one, we can live for ourselves, but at the same time, any specific skills we have. If you are a writer, write a good thing about in current situations. Reaching out to even 2 people or 3 people, it matters in a digital forum. If you are like a doctor, if you are a nurse, best way you can do to the society, even in a virtual way. If you are reaching out to the social media, to the community, like a Haiti or any part of the world, like giving even an one advice, like Louis, you are doing here, connecting or giving a social platform to discuss the idea. So it's not like only one way you can make the impact, but you can always find what you are the best about it, and you can do that one. The thing like when I started this project, like a school group project, I do not want to go into the name details. Like I grew up in a Nepal in a remote area where there was no electricity even right now. Like
Oh, I think we lost your audio.
And now here in the United States, and I found like a different level of hierarchy in the society, and you learn from each other. And the power of like a traveling and power of learning, I can give you like when I started traveling like a 40 country now, I say I inspired by you, if I have to say like, and
thanks.
then, and that's, yeah. So the time when you are like traveling Oklahoma to buying the plane, that's the time like when I started knowing about you. Yeah, and that helped me to like travel the world, and that's also helped me to like started the project I started like we can help each other, and the peer learning I started like how another part of the world a teacher can communicate with the other part of the world in the virtual collaboration. And here it is, we are able to build a platform in a global scale that's like a teachers, academician can join and help each other freely. And that's the kind of a change we really want to see. So my last message for everyone is like what we are best about, let's blend it with the virtual technology and help to the virtual global social like welfare. It not had to be the money only, it can be any kind of a skill set. Let's use in that like a social good. That's my message.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I so agree with that. I think right now we have so much more to give than obviously donations, and emergency aid is super important, and I think we should be doing that. But we've got so much more to give, whether that's our time, our skills, maybe teaching each other things, training each other up to be able to work from home and stuff like that. So I think there's you're spot on with that. Okay, let's keep going around. Hopeful and thankful. Leticia.
All right, so I think, I'm always expressing this because in a way I kind of want it to become a reality, that I think we're all gonna come out to be better humans after all of this. I think we're all coming to realize that we're more alike than we thought we were, in the sense that we're all seem to be, struggling with all of this. And it's kind of created this sense of like community, not only through this chat and through this message board, but just we see how alike we are with other people. And that's kind of like we're feeling empathetic for others. So it's making me feel really hopeful. It's also helping me feel that a lot of the things that I would worry about before are kind of just very insignificant. And I'm starting to see the greater picture that, we should all, once we all work together as a society, like look how much we can do. I know just in my community where I live, so many like small businesses are even starting to step up, like places, there's like a local brewery here that's, they obviously they can't really make money right now, so they're finding other ways. They're going out and creating these like produce packages that the community can come and buy from them, to kind of like aid those people that can't go to the grocery stores or that are too kind of scared to that they go in there. So just the way that as a community we're already helping each other out, I think it's amazing, and it's kind of been a quick turnaround the way that everybody has kind of like stepped up in a sense. So it's making me feel hopeful in that sense.
Awesome. Brianna?
Yeah, so thankful for being able to connect to people that you wouldn't be able to normally with time schedules and time zones and all that. I feel like that's been really nice to be able to catch up with friends or family that you wouldn't be able to. And also hopeful because just looking at the way the different companies have responded to all of this, and churches are going online, or like looking at specific needs in the community. Like I know specifically in my community, a lot of the school kids get their lunches from school, and that's how they eat for the day. And so there's been a community of people who come and like deliver food to those kids. So that's been really cool to see how people are changing the world through that. And I'm also really excited for the Social Good Club and to see like what all we can do as a community of international people all around the world, and yeah, taking like intentional steps to actually make a difference.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. Dave.
Yeah, it's cool hearing it all. I mean, I'm really thankful for the healthcare system in the UK. I just have taken it for granted my whole life, really. And I just think I'm sure in every country, they're just heroes. They are just straight up frontline heroes. And they've really stepped up. You know, I mean, they were already there, but like, I feel like they're just not shying away from the challenge. People I know, people I see on TV. And then I guess like following on from that, I've been really harsh on national governments over the last few years. Like, just felt like they were failing completely. And I still have problems, but I will say that I have been quite impressed and surprised at how quickly a lot of the national governments I've heard about have been able to mobilize and organize themselves and get past a lot of the petty politics, which has dominated a lot of what I've seen. So I'm thankful for that. And yeah, hopeful for the space that this creates, you know, whether that's in our own lives and creativity or in our ability to imagine a different future, because we, in a way, obviously it's a tragic thing, but it could just help us to avoid some existential threats over the next 10 or 15, 20 years, like that could wipe us all out. And it's been hard to imagine how we might shake ourselves up without something like this that's tragic, but also gets us thinking and talking like we are now. So there we go.
Thanks, bro. Phoebe?
Just hearing everybody speak, I wanted to share a phrase that they use in Norway. There's something called a dugnad, basically, which is when somewhere in the community, everybody goes and helps out on a weekend for, say, like for a club or a project, everybody comes and helps out. And everybody gets together and they do it all for free. But the Prime Minister of Norway has been saying recently that this is a national dugnad and that everybody is helping out and doing their part in the community and coming together. And everybody speaking here now has reminded me of that concept, which is quite big in Norway, that everybody coming together to help out for the good of the whole community. So I kind of think of everything as almost like a global dugnad now. And I guess those are the things that I feel hopeful and thankful for, that instead of maybe being insular and going to our little things and fighting for our own safety, everybody's actually more likely, everybody's coming together and creating that community effect and helping out in every way that they can to make it better for everybody. So yeah, hopeful and thankful for those. And I just wanted to share that concept because I think it's quite a cool Norwegian concept that I hadn't heard of until I came here.
Yeah, that's so cool being able to learn different customs and different traditions from around the world as we're connecting in with one another internationally. Rimsha?
Yeah, so I want to say I'm thankful for being able to stay with my family and being home. I know a lot of people that are stuck away from home, so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for being able to work still and complete schoolwork from home. I'm hopeful for obviously global change, like a change within people's hearts, but also within myself. I know that oftentimes when I get invited out with friends, I decline. I'm more of an introvert or homebody, as I guess some people would say. So I avoid going out a lot, but I think that I want to change that and you know, be a little bit more grateful that I have the ability to be able to go out and spend time with friends and actually do it. And then I'm also hopeful that I'll be able to change a habit that I have of trying to handle all my issues myself. I know a lot of during this time, a lot of people want to look to friends or family and, you know, discuss their problems, mental health, or, you know, however they're trying to take care of themselves. And I want to try to change that within myself and be able to ask for help when I need it. basically.
Well, we're here as a community to help if you need anything.
Thanks. I love this this chat and the group chat as well. I think it's a great way for people to, you know, be able to talk to others and just, you know, get out of their own body, get out of their own mind. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, if people aren't part of the group chat as well, it's on my Twitter at the moment. Like, if you just scroll down a little bit, we're chatting a lot on Telegram right now, just to stay connected. And we're going to announce some more of these group chats again. Some of these won't be live streams, some of them will be. But yeah, join in if you're watching from home or in this group, the Telegram group. Julia, what's your hopeful and thankful words?
I wrote down that I'm thankful like that I joined this live stream because, you know, just hearing like these different dialogues, it reminds me of like my previous job. Like I'm a part of hall staff for the dorms, and my job was to like do like we're doing like right now, like hear different dialogues and like talk about certain topics, whether it's about like race or like intersectionality or stuff like that. So like doing this, it just makes me thankful that like I got this job, and then doing it again, it just makes me realize that I miss it. And then also I'm thankful for like my support group, because mostly like all my close friends, like they went home. So like it's like letting me explore like I'm thankful for my friends and like letting me explore like what I really like and like who I can like really talk to like in this situation. And then I'm just hopeful for that after this like pandemic lessons, that like race like shouldn't be an issue, because I know that not just me but like a lot of like international like Asian international students have been like discriminated against because of this pandemic. So yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. Joel, you haven't introduced yourself yet. You're from near Liverpool in the UK, right? We've been chatting a bit.
Yes. Hello.
How are you feeling? We're kind of wrapping up the call, but we just said at the beginning, maybe, what are 3 words that summarize how you're feeling right now?
Anxious, bit lonely, isolated.
Wow. And we're hoping like through these community chat and just these calls that we can support each other, because a lot of people are feeling the same, I think, right now. Amongst all those feelings, what is there anything you're thankful for or feeling hopeful about in the future?
I think, you know, it's bringing a lot of people together that might not have otherwise come together in general. You know, because of the internet, we're able to talk to people and we're able to connect with everyone, no matter where we are in the world. Like, I can talk to, say, you or all these people that are on this group chat, just from in my desk on the world, and yet you're in like LA, and it's pretty incredible. And like, just technology in general has just changed the way that we can communicate over the last 15, 20 years. And, you know, coming from a Christian background as well, like seeing all these churches around the UK just coming together, but through the internet, like doing live streams. And, you know, some of my friends have been doing live streams, like I know Life Church in the World been doing that as well. Just loads of different places that are doing really good things just to help stop the spread of this virus. And being someone who is vulnerable myself, with a heart condition, like if I was to get it, it would be quite bad potentially. But it is hard. Like, I am finding it difficult, not like even just staying at home. I just like to go out and travel on trains quite a lot. So yeah, it's but I am thankful that we've got this platform that we can create on and share what we're up to. And even though we might be at home a lot, we can still share where we are and what we're doing and how we're coping in general.
Well, thanks for being a part of this, Joel. And just wanted to say I really value you being part of this group, and I'm excited to have more, like a chance to get to know each other more. All of these friendships, like you said, these are like new friendships. It's kind of weird to think a lot of us here are strangers, but in many ways where this whole situation's brought us together in a really powerful way.
We kind of have a mutual friend.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then is it just Katie that hasn't shared, or did you share?
Sorry, I was gone. I'm back now. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that. No, just I think what you said there about politics and being critical of government and stuff like that. And in Ireland at the minute, we actually just had an election before this all kind of kicked off, and we don't actually have a government at the minute. So the previous
Whoa.
government are like a caretaker government, but they're actually doing such a good job. And the thing is that there was a really the results action were so anti the government, but now the government is actually doing a really good job in response to this. So I think if it's just so interesting, because there was such like a change, and everyone was talking about this whole political shift that happened, and then all of a sudden this happened and there was nothing there. So the old government had to step in. So our prime minister isn't even technically the prime minister, but we're actually really lucky because he's a doctor, and his dad is a doctor, basically his whole family are doctors. So I think that really had its impact there as well. So it just goes to show that I suppose when things get tough, I don't think like we can be very critical of politicians, and for good reason, obviously, but I do think people that go into politics, as someone myself, I've studied politics, so I think people that go into it for the right reasons most of the time. So it's just very interesting to see how everything changed so quickly, but then everything's changed so quickly again. We thought we were going to be seeing such a different landscape. So anyway, sorry, I don't mean to be, but that's just something I'm thankful for, because there was so much, oh no, what's going to happen? There's so much instability, but it's actually very stable, and there's been a great response so far. Yeah.
Wow.
I picked up on there. But yeah, I'm thankful for my family. My family aren't treating me like I am isolating from them because of my symptoms, but I'm glad they're not treating me like I don't know, like they're not treating me any different. They're being really nice to me. And also just like I've been using Zoom to talk to my friends, because a lot of my friends from college live in different parts of the country, so I wouldn't be seeing them anyway. So hopefully I think this should be a trend. Hopefully that'll continue on, because a lot of people hate video calling and just won't. They're like I love talking to people on the phone. A lot of people have a thing about talking on the phone or video calling, and they just don't like doing it. But hopefully people actually get used to it now, so that people that might be far away actually might do it more often. So maybe that's a good thing that come out of this as well.
Yeah, I've done more video calls in the last week than I have in my life. Like it's been great though. It's been really good. Right, I think that might be the end of the call. Just wanted to say I love you all. Thanks for being a part of this. There'll be many more calls like this, and I'd love to talk about lots of different issues and just hear from you all. And
wait, quickly, Phoebe. Well, this is just a crazy random thing that we have in common. I know.
That's so weird.
You have the same water bottle?
Yeah.
They're carbon neutral water bottles, like sugarcane from Sweden.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I love it. Yeah, we have a lot more in common than we think.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
So cool.
I feel like we could carry on chatting all day, but I'm going to let you get off. And just keep an eye in the Telegram group for the next call, and I'll be posting about it as well. But stay safe. I hope, Katie, you're feeling better soon. And peace out.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.